Unfortunately, we're in the middle of Iowa and I don't have one of these. And I can't get one of these because I am now leaving tomorrow. So we're like 2 miles from the house. I've already had to use one of my 2 sample packs of tub of towels. So this is going great. Welcome back to the Lost Cause Ranch. Today we see if I can get my 30-year-old Eco Challenge Land Rover Discovery to make the 1,250-mile trip out to Moab, Utah to do a little wheeling. And behind me is the aftermath of Ted and I thrashing over a couple days to get the thing ready, or hopefully get it ready, to make that trip. As it turns out, when you have too many Land Rovers in your collection, you tend to neglect some much needed maintenance. I'm my own worst enemy. So the first thing is obviously going to be getting the wheels off. And unfortunately, our little quick jacks just don't do the trick on the Discoveries and whatnot. So we're going to have to go the old school route and jack with jack stands. Pretty rough, I know. So we're going to start off with draining fluids, I think. We'll go front to back, starting with the front diff, engine, transfer case, then finishing with the rear diff. We're going to start with the fluids because that is the easiest thing we're going to be doing. So we'll use that as a warm-up. Always break the fill plug loose before you do the drain, because you don't want to end up not having any fluid in it when you can't get the fill plug back out to top it back off. This plug's a little messed up, so we're going to try and fit one of the wobbles in and use that. It's been bashed off a couple rocks, I think. There we go. That worked out pretty swell. I'm not sure who put the filter on last, but I think it is now a permanent fixture of the Eco. That thing is on there. Well, that took a little bit of effort to get off. In case you were wondering, this is what it's supposed to look like. And now that we got all the fluid out, if you guys have not seen these FlexFill bag bottles from Valvoline are like the best invention when it comes to gear lube. Using a conventional gear lube bottle like this has always been a pain. There's never enough room to get it up above the fill port and get it fed in there. These things, you just frickin' squeeze them like a toothpaste tube. See, even before the massive vise is all restored, it is still useful in a little U-joint replacement job. We also have a little bit of play in both the front wheel bearings, so we're going to pull the drive flanges off and get those back into spec. Nothing too crazy, but it's a problem I'd rather not deal with down the road.
Down the road, on the side of the road?
Pretty much. Robbing gas mileage right there.
Got any RTV?
It looks fine.
Probably could just tighten it up. Put some grease in it and reboot.
It is a good thing I keep loads of parts in stock for these. Like a heavy duty tie rod for this thing. Ted's got it right there. Definitely didn't come off the LS3 Defender. I would never rob a part off that. So we're just pre-setting the alignment. Real technical here.
Who would have thought? Yeah. pilot's eye rods is beginning to fluke.
Sasha's resting up before the big trip. You all excited to go? She looks excited, doesn't she? Also have a little noise in the rear shock when you unload it, and right there is a loose washer, so we're gonna address that. Nothing like waiting until a couple days before you leave on a 3,000-mile trip to fix all the knick-knacky stuff that's been wrong with the vehicle the entire time you've owned it.
As long as the radio works.
Radio does work. Passenger door handle, not that great. We might fix that too. And crank it down more once. Try that maybe.
Sure.
Yeah. I guess if you just tighten it enough, that makes a big difference. I think I've owned it for 3 years. All it took was that. So obviously there was an issue with the drive shaft as well, and we now have a new U-joint courtesy of Ted. Had a slight vibration under load, so just wanted to take care of that. But after getting the drive shaft out of the car, we noticed it was not just one of them that was loose, but both. So I went ahead and grabbed another universal joint. Turns out they aren't all that universal because you need to get a specific one. Lies. This obviously isn't the most ideal way to do this, but we're making do with what we got. This old big vise that I need to restore doesn't have a jaw over here, so we can't exactly press it together with that. So the little hammer it is. So now we just need to slide this guy back in. So we are getting pretty sorted. And it didn't take a whole lot to get the Eco ready to go. Just one or two safety issues. But while we were under the hood, notice the upper radiator hose is looking a little sketchy. Unfortunately, we're in the middle of Iowa and I don't have one of these. And I can't get one of these because I am now leaving tomorrow. Ugh. Definitely looks a little suspect. I think this guy was a bit of a ticking time bomb. Well, we found another one. Definitely wouldn't take anything off another Rover here at the ranch. Would never do such a thing. I think we'll even treat the old Eco to a fresh set of wiper blades. You know, in case it rains out in the desert. So we're getting down to the nitty gritty right now. It is 10 o'clock at night. We're leaving tomorrow. I got all the necessary stuff taken care of, but there is a few things I would have liked to take care of that just not gonna have time. I wanted to remove the tint on it just because it's purple, dated, and getting kind of annoying. Don't want to look at it for 60 freaking hours, but another day. There is one thing I'm gonna take care of before we go. It's an optional thing, but the convenience is worth it. This frickin' handle tore. I mean, that's kind of a Discovery 1 Range Rover Classic thing. The handles come out of adjustment, and then if you have someone who isn't quite familiar with them, they yank a little hard, and then that happens. So we're gonna start with getting the door panel off. That's as good a place as any. I'm obviously the first person ever in here. Being in 1996 and having 218,000 miles and a Land Rover, it's not quite a shocker. I have one more quick upgrade I want to do. We're going to take these small cup holders and upgrade to the Discovery 2 American-sized one. Look at that girthy difference. Now we're talking. We can now put my 64-ounce coffee in there because that's what we need on a 20-hour trip. The old ones get dwarfed in there. So as you can see right there, we at least got this thing ready enough to go on the trip. We got Ted and his Jeep. You know, the brand new Jeep has to get trailered. And the old Eco, gonna make the trip under its own power. So we're like 2 miles from the house. I've already had to use one of my 2 sample packs of tub of towels, so this is going great. But no, I was out of grease and I wanted to grease the new U-joints and tie rod before taking off. So I guess it's a good thing we did that. Sasha is impatiently waiting. Now we're gonna hit the road. Sasha got moved to the back. She looked real happy about it. See, I told you it was a good thing we put the new wiper blades on. And here we got Sasha out on a tour. She's just stretching her legs. What are you doing? First fuel stop, we're 175 miles in. Surprisingly, this is not the most fuel inefficient vehicle on the trip. The Power Wagon, doing a little bit worse. We'll run some calculations, but we went 175 miles on the odometer at 13.8 gallons. Better than I was expecting. Joe prepared as usual. I kind of forgot to check the tire pressures before the trip. Sasha, where were we on that one? But the good news is we found the hot spot. A nice gas station in Lincoln, Nebraska with a cop hanging out. We always find all the nice places on our travels. You can kind of see Ted way up there. The old Eco just doesn't have the power that the Power Wagon has. But no, so Dad and I are on the old Sunday tour. I guess we're in no hurry to climb the mountains. The Eco is happy about a tunnel because that means we get to go through the mountain and not over it, because we're now starting to climb the temp gauge. Sasha's having a little Eagle Colorado breakfast, just eating out in the mountains. Would you look at that? Can you believe it? We have made it to Moab in our 30-year-old Land Rover. The Eco Challenge made the 1,250 mile trip. The truck there was a couple doubters inside that didn't think it would. But now we get to take this thing out and experience the fun that can be had. Maybe a little Hell's Revenge. We shall see. You'll either see that right now, and if you don't, that means I'm splitting this up into 2 videos, and we will catch you on the next one. Sasha did great on her 20-hour drive, and we're all happy to be out here in the desert. Should be a fun week. And this is kind of funny. Our hotel is right there, and right behind it we have a uranium mitigation project thing going on. Seems safe, but no, yeah, hotel's really nice. I'd stay here again, just not for too long. As always, appreciate you guys watching, appreciate you subscribing. This one's a little different than the norm, but fun nonetheless. We did have one casualty though. Such a shame. So you guys obviously know I'm a huge fan of heights with the shop build and scaffolding. Well, here is something that just doesn't sit well with Joe. Yeah, we're a ways up here. So there's the bridge. The ground is way down there. Things have taken an interesting turn.